Hi, my name is Jamin Goecker. I'm a realtor in South Central Alaska, and my mission is to help people build intentional, significant legacies for themselves and their families by coaching them in real estate. Now, a big part of that is going to be answering a big question that I get quite often when people are looking at coming up here, and that is, how expensive is the housing? And what exactly are the houses like up there? So to answer that, I'm going to show you in each one of the big market centers that I work in, Anchorage, Eagle River, and the Matsu Valley, what the average in each one of those market centers is going to get you. You know, what kind of houses are you looking at? So we'll go into that, and I'm also going to be showing you just what you can expect to be paying for rent if you do decide to go that way, and at what time and how long you can be in each one of these market centers before buying makes more sense, and when you should really just consider renting for a little bit when you get up here. So that's going to be the the topic of today's video. So before we get started, you know what to do. Give this video a like, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and if you are ready to start looking for homes here in the South Central Alaska area, make sure you stick around to the very end and you see how to download my app and how to start your search and see if you can find something here that makes sense for you in South Central Alaska. Now, without further ado, let's go and jump into it today. I'm going to show you what properties look like if you're trying to rent in any of the three biggest real estate markets in the South Central Alaskan area, in Anchorage, Eagle River, or in the Matsu Valley. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Anchorage here. The average price that you're going to rent a property out at is going to be $2,181. So we're going to try to find properties that are, pretty close to that in the price range. They're all not going to be the same size, but just to kind of give you a feel for what properties look like for the average price for monthly rentals. So let's go ahead and start with this one over here in Anchorage. It is going to be 3-bedroom, 2-bath, does not have a carport, does have a 2-car garage though. It's just shy of 1,600 square feet. Now let's go and take a look at some of the photos of the interior. Now these might not be awesome photos because it is a rental, but let's take a look anyway. Okay, so that's about what we would expect. Looks like it is pretty clean. Nothing particularly special though. That nice little hearth right there in the middle, so that's nice. This is going to be a pretty common layout. Yeah, pretty common layout for Anchorage. So that's option number one. Option number two, this is going to be more of a townhome kind of a setup. But this property, they leased it out for about $2,150. At least that's what they had it on the market. And it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath for about 1,453 square feet. And let's go and take a look at the interior. Okay, so already we can see the exterior looks pretty well maintained. You get some nice wildlife in the area. Do have kind of a back view there to some wetlands. It definitely does look like the flow, at least in the kitchen, for the traffic looks a lot better. The flooring is not carpet, so for a lot of people that's more appealing. I do like bathrooms. This looks pretty well lit, so that's another huge benefit I'm going to give it, especially during the winter time. It's kind of light and bright. The ceilings are a little bit taller, and they do have this back deck as well. All right, so that's going to be option two. Option three, we don't have a lot of pictures on this one, but it's 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage for $2,100. So about $81 cheaper than what the average in Anchorage is. And let's go and take a look at the interior. Not a whole lot of pictures on this one. Okay, kind of hard to tell here, but yeah, that's kind of a classic layout for Anchorage. The kitchen is going to be overlooking the living room, pretty tall ceilings. Does have that, looks like some kind of a laminate there. Garage looks pretty good. And the yard's a little crowded. Looks like they have a hot tub there, so that's nice. But yeah, that is going to be kind of a sampling for what properties, the average properties are going to look like, or the properties at the average price for leasing are going to look like in Anchorage. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Eagle River. Eagle River is going to be a little further north of where Anchorage is. And technically it's part of the municipality of Anchorage, but Eagle River kind of operates as its own town in a lot of ways, and kind of has its own real estate ecosystem. So the average price in Eagle River for the average rent for a property is going to be $2,178. So pretty close to what the average in Anchorage proper is going to be. Now let's take a look at our first option here. It's, that went for $2,100. It has a 3-car garage, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and about 0.2 acres on there. So a little bit more space, but not a whole lot. So let's take a look here. I do like that front deck they have there. That's a good start. Okay. Okay, like I said, I do really like this front view right here. And you do get kind of a little bit of a taste of the Alaskan landscape there at the backyard. But yeah, that's going to be the best photos we can do for that one. Second one here in Eagle River, it's going to be 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 2,400 square feet, 2-car garage, and this one, leased out for about $2,200. So just a little over the average for Eagle River. Let's take a look at the interior. As we can kind of surmise, it's going to be a little bit older. Kind of get that wood paneling on there. Some people really like that. And not particularly updated, at least with the countertops. Not bad, though. All right, so not a lot of pictures on that one. And let's have a look at one more here. This is going to be more in the Eaglewood area, if I remember correctly. Yep. So this is going to be over in Eaglewood. This is the biggest HOA in North America. If what everyone is telling me is correct, and this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath property that's just over 2,400 square feet, 2-car garage, and it leased out for just over 2,200 square feet. Let's go ahead and take a gander. Okay, so it does kind of have that log cabin. I believe it's a chalet is what they call it. And this is definitely going for a very strong cedar siding look to it. And actually, I think I've actually been in this property before. So it definitely has a strong, wood cedar paneling look to it all the way around the property. This looks like it's pretty clean and maintained. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, well, let's take a look at the Matsu Valley now. Now, when talking about the Matsu Valley, it's important to see here what we're really talking about is looking at really anything that's north of the Knik River Bridge right here. and then it's going to extend up this way and a little up this way as well. I think it goes out to Willow, but really the two biggest market centers that we look at when we're talking about the valley is going to be Wasilla and Palmer. Now, the average rent price in Wasilla is going to be $1,858. So it's going to be significantly more affordable out in the valley than it's going to be in Anchorage, which is why a lot of people prefer to actually live here in the Matsu Valley, and then they just commute into Anchorage to go to work. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the properties here. This one is in Palmer. If I've got this right, yes, this one's over in Palmer. It's got 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just over 1,900 square feet, and this one actually rented for about $1,800 a month. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, got that wood stove right as you walk through the door. I do like that they did a good job with the photos on this one. Don't always see that with rental properties, so this looks good. Okay, looks like you do have a pretty nice, well taken care of backyard, so that's a good touch. And not that it's a big deal if you're renting, but those wood or metal roofs are pretty nice. Okay, so that is going to be option number one. Option number two is going to be a property over in Wasilla, so it's a little further west, and this property has 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and 1,836 square feet. And this one actually is renting out for $1,950, and it was built back in '74, so it's going to be a little bit older. Okay, so this is the exterior, and you've got some pretty darn spectacular views from just about all the windows there. So that's awesome. Don't really get that in a whole lot of rental properties, so that's nice. Kitchen, certainly not super updated or remodeled, but it looks very clean, and they did a good job with kind of giving it a really consistent, eclectic look. A little bay window there. Oh, actually, this is actually a pretty updated bathroom for a rental property, so put in some good thought and care. Oh, very nice. They definitely picked a good location to build this home. Right on the lake as well. Pretty nice size yard there to go run around in. It's not fenced, but it's also not a big deal in a lot of places. This property does have about 0.77 acres, so about 3/4 of an acre, so you do get more land out there as well. Now, the last one we're going to look at is this one over here, again in Wasilla. So it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, just under 1,700 square feet. And the rent on this one is going to be about $1,800, and it's just over half of an acre. Again, nice pictures, gives us a good sense of everything. Really solid, go back, really solid, kind of an updated, remodeled interior kitchen here, so that's good. Okay, good size yard. And before anyone asks, these are for the septic tank and leach field that's out there. I can talk about that more in a future video, but overall, this place looks very updated and remodeled. Looks pretty nice, especially with that flooring in there. And obviously, you just can't beat that view. Okay. Now, one thing that I would take a look at with this one is this is over here closer to the KGB Road or the Kinnick Goose Bay Road. So if you're looking at doing something like living in the valley and then driving into Anchorage, that's just going to be a little extra driving every day that you have to do. So that's probably why this property looks super updated and remodeled and a lot newer than you'd find with the other ones, but it is a little further out from Anchorage. So that's probably why they settled on that price. Has this been useful for you so far? If it has, you know what to do. Give this video a like. And if you have a specific part of Alaska you would like to kind of see what the average sales price in that area would get you, definitely make sure you post that down below, and I'll at least give you an idea what the average sold price is for homes in that area. Now, finally, what I want to do is show you the comparison between purchasing a property and the average price range in each one of these markets, and then also renting at the average for properties in this price range, and showing you at what point it's going to make more sense to buy versus renting the property that you're looking at. So let's go ahead and start at Anchorage. So first off, what we see is this is going to be the average sold price for properties in Anchorage, about $392,000. And secondly, we have the average for rents in this marketplace as well. That's going to be the average over there. So just assuming we found a property where this all works together just fine, and the market value is going to be the average, and the rental income potential for the property is going to be the average as well. What we see is that it's actually going to be cheaper in about 3 years to actually buy than it would be to just rent the property. And the reason that we see that, you might be starting a lot higher over here just because you have down payments, and purchasing a house isn't cheap, but you do see it stays pretty consistent, and then it actually starts going down. And if this went all the way out to 30 years, you would see that number actually getting lower and lower, just because once you start going past that 10-year mark, you actually start paying more on the actual principal of the mortgage and less so on just paying off the interest. So it actually does get a lot cheaper as you go along here, and then once you sell it, you're able to recoup a lot of that equity. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And over here, obviously you start really low on the rent, but you're not getting that back. You can't sell the rental property and get the equity back. So it just goes up and up and up and up. And if it went all the way out to 30 years, you see how that would start getting pretty expensive pretty quickly. So over in the Anchorage market, if we're talking just averages, it's going to be cheaper to buy versus rent. If you're looking at roughly, we see this about 3.5 years is kind of what we're seeing. Okay, let's have a look at Eagle River. It's going to be very similar. Again, just looking at the average sold price and then the average rental amount, and assuming we have that same configuration on the same property, it's going to be about the same. About 3 to 3.5 years is kind of what we're looking at. And let's go and swing over here to the Matsu Valley. Again, it's going to be pretty similar. This one's actually a little sooner. It looks like it's more on 3 years, less so than the 3.5. So yeah, still pretty reflective though, that about that 3.5 year mark is kind of what you're looking at if you're trying to price it out between buying versus renting in a certain marketplace. You need about 3.5 years to make it cheaper than renting. Now, to help you answer a question that I'm sure you're probably asking at this point is, should you be looking at buying a property at this point or just renting when you first get up here? Well, that's going to come down to a number of factors. Number one, what is your timing? Are you planning on being here a little bit more long-term, minimum 3 years? Or are you looking at, just getting up here, seeing if you like it, and then if that's not a good fit for you, move on from there. In that situation, rent, okay? Renting is designed for people who need flexibility and to be able to have the ability to simply, once the lease is over, to just move their stuff out of there and be done. That's maximum flexibility when it comes to housing. So in that situation, by all means, just continue renting. The other factor is going to be employment. Okay, so if you have a job that's really steady and stable, and it's going to be here, and it's likely not going to be going anywhere, and you're going to be here for at least 3 years, by all means, it really makes sense to start looking at putting down some roots, purchasing something that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to caveat that. You can't just go buy anything and think it's going to work for you. And when you go to sell it here in about 3 years, so we need to make sure that it actually makes sense in the big plan that you guys have for you and your family. And then that definitely makes sense at that point. Okay. Now the other thing is, have you been to Alaska before? If you haven't, then if at all possible, I do recommend you kind of come up here, preview everything, get a feel for the area. Then if you're still liking what you're seeing, then you take that step forward and you look at possibly purchasing something if you plan on being here again for a while. Thanks for watching. I really hope this has been useful. If it has, you know what to do. Give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you are ready to start looking for properties in the South Central Alaska area, make sure you follow the instructions in the little video that's going to be playing right after this. And it's going to break it down for you how to download it and how to go about searching for properties using my app, which is going to be in the description section down below. And also, if you want to reach out to me directly and kind of talk and start seeing if this whole Alaska thing is something that's going to make sense for you, by all means, reach out to me through the link to my Facebook page. That's going to be in the description section down below. You can try to reach out to me through the comments. I'm going to do my best to talk to as many people as I can, but the best way to make sure you get a hold of me is just to go through the link to my Facebook page. But again, I hope this has been useful for you, and thanks for watching. Downloading my app is pretty simple. You simply scroll to the description section of my videos, click on the link there. It's going to take you to my website. From there, scroll down, hit download app. It'll take you to a place where you enter in your phone number. Enter that in, click send link. It's going to text you a link to the App Store. And from there, you'll have to click on that, enter in your email address, and then it's going to register you to the app, and you'll be able to start modifying your search. You can modify number of bedrooms, bathrooms, property type. You have a lot of modifications you can do on there, or just draw a shape to it. From there, you'll have the ability to go and just browse through, create your own specific saved searches on there that's going to make sense for you. Go ahead and add notes just so it makes sense. And that's going to be kind of the basic search capabilities. There are a lot of extra bonuses and things to this that make it really beneficial, like walking you through the entire process as a buyer or seller and giving you all the details that's involved with each one of those steps. So never at any point are you going to be lost in the process. So we've kind of just scratched the surface here, but that's just to get you started.